So just heading out of Pittwater now. Turn around, you can have a look. The new Quantum Radar on the back, looking very sharp. Hopefully that will stand me in good stead. As you can see from the south, we're heading into what looks like storm. So I'm going to watch that very closely when I come out of Pittwater. That looks fairly ominous to me. But they're predicting storms, lightning, but no strong winds, so that's not coming till tomorrow. But we'll just see what that's like when we get out the heads. If it looks really bad, I might come back in. Although, as Eric would say on No Bullshit Just Sailing, it's all part of the learning curve and it's all good fun. Pittwater. What a beautiful waterway this is. I've got a couple of reefs in at the moment, just in anticipation that we might get some stormy weather. But, you know, I suppose we've got to be ready for that. It's not something I want to have to contend with. That's now looking into the basin. There we get another first-hand look at the radar setup on the back of the boat. Brand new piece of kit. Came all the way to Pittwater to get a guy I know from Aquatronics who's really good to do the install for me. And he was really helpful because he radio tested my HF set, found a small fault, and we managed to get a call out the other day to Charlieville up in North Queensland, so pretty happy about that. So we know some of the things are working quite well. Up in front. This must be the calm before the storm, I think. It's no wind at all now. So we'll just see what happens once we head round Barrenjoey Headland, which is just over there. Might be a different kettle of fish. Over there, still howling 30 knots here. Just had the anchor come loose on the front of the boat. Learned a good lesson out of that one. So a good lesson here, whilst I was actually sitting in the cockpit looking at my apps on my iPhone, I was looking at the BOM and also the windy app, and they were both concurring, saying that the winds should have been 10 to 15 out of the northwest, when in fact here I was sitting in a 30 knot southerly. So paying attention to the weather around you and what the clouds are doing is sometimes more important than the forecast that you get on the apps that we rely so much on. I had a few issues to contend with when the storm hit. It knocked the boat over to about 45 degrees, and then the water inlet for the engine started sucking air, so moments later the engine overheated once it gets air into the waterline. So I had to switch the engine off, and then I spent the rest of the evening tacking down to Sydney, which took a lot more time than I anticipated, about 3 hours from Long Reef into Sydney Heads. And when I hit Sydney Heads, I got hit by another storm, which then came out of the northwest, so it was a good experience all round. Wow, you've got to think how exciting this is. This is just not a 9 to 5 job. Pleasure to be out here, but obviously it would be nicer if the conditions were better, but this is where you learn a lot too about your boat and about yourself. So what are the lessons on that trip that I can share with you that I've learned after all these years of sailing? Well, one, when going to sea, everything needs to be secured, basic. Check and secure anchor tightly, as waves over the bow really have a habit of loosening things up, and then you do damage to your hull. Pay attention to the weather around you and don't just rely upon weather apps and forecasts, because sometimes they're just not right. Excessive heel on a yacht may bring your engine's seawater inlet out of the water. This will cause the engine to suck in air and your engine will overheat fairly quickly. The engine alarm will go off, so turn the engine off immediately the alarm sounds. It's a sailboat, so don't worry if you lose the engine. You can always sail, even if it's uncomfortable and requires tacking into a headwind. You'll get to your destination, just reduce sail so it's not overpowered. And don't look at a loose mainsail luff in a storm and think, I should fix that, and continue to think that. Go and fix it to take the horizontal strain off the lugs and battens. Anyway, hopefully they'll be helpful for you as well. Till next time.